Alright, let's get into Lars Alexanderson. MYK, let's talk about some Punishers.
First off, I'd like to say Lars is a very popular character.
Oh, yeah.
And you should stop playing him
Yo.
right now. But I'm here for you guys, so we're going to discuss about his Punishers. So, alright, so Lars has a couple options for -10. Al's going to do, what's that move? Down back 2-2?
Down back 2-2.
Elisa's down back 2-2 is -10, and Lars has 3 options. He has 1-2, 1-1, and 2-1. 1-2 being his weakest option. 1-1 and 2-1 both doing 20 damage. Well, while 2-1 gives the most frame advantage. So, we'll show you. It's 1-2. That's 1-1. And here's 2-1. There's your 3 -10 Punishers, and for -12, Lars has actually a really strong 12 frame Punisher, which
ridiculous.
is it's okay. Don't
PG, Mike, PG.
don't play him. All right, so Lars has a really strong 12 frame Punisher. I was gonna display it with Lisa's forward 1+2.
Forward 1+2.
38 damage, and it also has knocks down wall splats. It also gives a little Oki option afterwards, which I'll discuss later. But the main thing is it knocks down. It has great range. It could punish such things as Paul's Death Fist from mid range, which is not easy to do for a lot of characters. And it will wall splat, and then once it wall splats, you get a huge combo afterwards. For -13, Lars has shoulder, but you wouldn't really want to do that. It's riskier than doing forward 2-4, and it's less damage anyways. So
it's riskier because it's launch punishable.
It's launch punishable, yeah.
And basically forward 2-4 has much more range anyway.
Much more range, much more damage.
Punishable.
Both give a knockdown, both give a wall splat, so it's like no point in doing shoulder.
And 4-2-4 jails, right?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Oh,
it
it
doesn't
does
jail.
not.
So you can
You
duck
will
it.
not go to prison with that move. It's all good.
It doesn't jail, but
It's a natural combo. So
You
you're
shouldn't be
screwed.
missing your punishment anyway, especially with Lars. One of the most rewarding things about Lars too is that he's also one of the few characters that has a 14 frame launcher in this game. It's not very common that a character has a 14 frame standing launcher, but Lars has one. Though it's not very much damage, it's still more damage than his forward 2-1. Elisa doesn't have a 14 frame launcher we could display it with, but we'll show it with her Fly 1, which is -14.
15.
Yeah, 15, there we go, sorry, excuse me. There we go. It's -15, so obviously a 14 frame move is going to connect afterwards. But the combo after that is not very strong, it won't even pass 60s, but Lars is forward 1+2, that's his 15 frame Punisher, and it does amazing damage. The range isn't that great, but in cases of block punishment, it's going to cover everything you need for -15. We'll display it here. Also known as his Jew Punch. Not offending any Jews out there, it's spelled J-Y-U, because that's what he said.
J-Y-U.
And that's his generic launcher, right?
His generic 15 frame launcher, yes.
So he doesn't have a regular hop kick.
He doesn't have, he's kind of unique in that sense because his down forward 2 looks like this, and his up forward 4 is like a big, hop kick. So they're both not 15 frame launchers, but he has forward 1+2 to cover that.
Also, unlike Elisa, her 15 frame launch, or her generic launcher, which is down forward 2, does not launch duckers.
Yeah,
But
doesn't launch duckers, but
Lars
Lars
does.
will cover both ducking and standing, as you can see here. But it also is punishable, unlike Elisa's. Elisa's is -9, or down forward 2, but Lars is -12, so. Yeah, so you could punish his. So
bigger reward, more risk.
Yeah, but it's not really a risk when you're using it as a Punisher when you know it's guaranteed.
Exactly.
So moving on to the next move, his next move is 16 frames, which is in the Japanese move list is called Triggered Screw, which I will go by. In the American move list is called Lightning Screw, which sounds lame as hell.
Really? I think I like lightning
I like
screw.
Triggered Screw. It sounds like that.
I like triggered screw.
Okay, so we'll display Al doing Elisa's 4-4 1+2, and I'll be punishing it with Lars up forward 3. Big launcher. Obviously, the damage afterwards for up forward 3 isn't as strong as forward 1+2. So other than moves that have slight pushback, where your forward 1+2 wouldn't reach, that's where, and it's still -16, you would probably want to go with up forward 3. In some cases, you could punish Brian's wall standing 1 from close range, and his wall standing 1 already has a certain amount of pushback. But at the tip, you won't punish it with it. But from a close range, Lars' up forward 3 will hit, while his forward 1+2 wouldn't. From full crouch, Lars has a couple options. He's also one of the only characters that has a stronger 13 frame while standing move compared to an 12 or 11. So we'll display it with that. We'll have Elisa doing a down back 3, punching with while standing 4. That's all he has for minus 11. But for minus 13, Lars actually has a little stronger option, while standing 2-1. And for minus 15, we discussed that his up forward 3 is 16 frames, so he kind of needs, other than that, he needs a while standing move that's 15 frames. So his while standing 1 is actually a 15 frame launcher, as you can see here. So, from while standing moves, he has 11 for while standing 4, while standing 13 is while standing 2-1, for 15 he has while standing 1. And that's basically all you need. But yeah, for lows, generally, for lows that have a stagger, you could do up 4, neutral 4, which is the strongest launcher, which is around minus 23 frames.
Alright, so I think that basically covers his punishers, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Well, one more thing. Since I covered over that he has forward 1 plus 2 and is up forward 3, for long range minus 15, Lars really doesn't have anything since his forward 1 plus 2 is such not that great range. So his other option is down back 2-1 or down back 2-3, which are both natural combos. Or from like at the very tip of certain moves as well, he gets a back 1 instead. So for far pushback moves that are minus 15, you're better going with those moves instead.
So which one has the most range out of those you just showed us? Back 1?
Back 1 easily has the most range out of all
Okay.
that move.
But the most damage would be down back 2-4? 2-3. Okay.
Yeah. From close range, forward 1 plus 2, that's your best bet.
All right. So I think that covers pretty much most of Lars's punishing things. So we saw your while standing 1, and I think you hold forward, and he goes into some kind of stance.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about Lars's stances. All right. So this is our first time running through the characters, so we're going to switch up the order like we just had on Elisa a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and cover Lars's stances.
All right. Generally, Lars has 2 stances. All right, so the first one you could do manually, which you call DE for short. For saying the whole thing at once, it's a dynamic entry. That's the Japanese name for it, so we just decided to use that on TZ as well.
Is there an American name for it?
It's called dynamically entering or something like that.
Dynamically entering.
Something like that, yeah. So basically to do it, it's forward 3. You could also do it by canceling some moves into it. Some moves transition into it. Generally, dynamic entry is done by holding down after certain moves. He has 3 moves that transition into the stance, which is down forward 3 down. He has while standing 2 down and forward 1 2 3 down. The unique part about while standing 2 down is that he actually takes a far back step afterwards. So you could kind of use this as a keep out move to like run away from your opponents after getting it blocked or something. It's a good way to create some distance. But keep in mind that he cannot block once he's in this stance where he's posing for a second right there. He cannot block. So if someone anticipates this and does a long range move, he's vulnerable to getting hit.
So is there people know how many frames like they have to punish that basically?
I would say because Lily, if she anticipates it, she gets down forward 3 plus 4, so it's somewhere around like 25 frames or
Wow.
so. So it's pretty. You have a long time to do something. Yeah, generally all these stance to get into DE from any of these moves is by pressing down. Just while saying 2 down, down forward 3 down, stuff like that. And another thing that I see a question a lot on the forums is how to do his manual DE stance cancel, and that's done by pressing down back or down forward, or you can press up forward, up back. Any of those moves will cancel that stance. You could also use it. It's kind of interesting too. You could do a side step from this right away as well. If you
Right.
If you press forward 3 and you press up, you'll sidestep to the background. Forward 3 and then down, you'll sidestep into the foreground.